Hey guys, how we doing? Welcome to another chat show here on Buzzing Pattaya, and today's topic, and that is, why are foreign men the target of Thai girls? What makes the Thai girls look at you guys and say, hey, I want a piece of that action? So I'm going to go through it. I've made a list of some of the things that I've experienced over the years, some of the things that people have told me, some experiences they've shared. It's quite interesting, I think, in many ways. I'm quite surprised at some of the things that they think about and how it works. But what I hope this will do, if nothing else, is if you are thinking about being involved with a Thai girl, maybe you should have a little think about what we're going to talk about today. And guys, if you have been involved in a Thai relationship, I'd like you to answer two questions, please. What was the most enjoyable aspect? And keep that part clean. And secondly, what was the toughest part of your relationship? And what I will say to everyone, please guys, if someone shares an experience and you might read that comment and think, oh my Lord, what a schoolboy error, please be respectful to each other. That's the one thing I love about our community, is that we respect each other. And yes, we all make mistakes, myself included. You know, I've been down and lost it all before, like I've explained many times. So, you know, listen, let's just keep it nice and real with each other, and let's learn from each other's mistakes. And particularly, if you've never been out here before, trust me, you are throwing yourself to the wolves, and they're gonna put you through your paces, as I'm sure people that have watched in this video that have been out here will soon confirm. All right, so as always, we'll put some overlays over the top while I chat away, and let's see where we go with this subject as to why are you the target for the Thai girls. So the first thing that we need to understand is there are three types of Thai ladies here. And you've got the farm girls. Now the farm girls are living up in Isan, they're working the farms. You've got the working girls that come down here to work in the bar industry. And then you've got the professional girls, the ladies that are holding down office jobs and high powered jobs up in the cities. So it's a very vast contrast between all three. And if you look at each one, so if you take the farming girls, now obviously myself, I live up in the farming area. I know many farming girls. They're beautiful, they're lovely, they're just really genuinely nice people. A far cry from what you find here in the city. And many reasons, number one, they enjoy a peaceful way of life. They wake up very early normally, and they'll go off and they'll tend to the farms and what they need to do. And then the rest of the day, they kind of like graze, eat, and then they'll be sleeping, eating, or cleaning. But that's a very generalistic way of life for the farming girls. They live miles away from the city life, so they very rarely get to dip their toe in the ocean and see the kind of lifestyle or the kind of activities that go on here like we're used to in Pattaya. So what happens with them, the reason why suddenly you might become a point of interest or a target, is imagine that there's another girl that's gone down, and remember we spoke about working girls. There's a girl that's gone down to say Pattaya or Phuket or Bangkok. She's working the bar scene. She meets her knight in shining armor, and suddenly that same farm girl has now got this beautiful big house, nice car, all the things and all the fixtures and fittings that go with that kind of a lifestyle. And that in itself reflects back to us as foreign men, because well, I think I'm closest that you're going to get to someone that's happy living in a wigwam. Most people like a nice structured building, a nice house with land, etc. So again, that farm girl, she looks up and she's like, wow, how have you managed that? Where did that come from? Oh, well, I met this foreign guy. He's from England, from Australia, from America, wherever, and we fell in love, and this is what he's providing me with. Well, human nature says, I want a part of that. A lot of the girls will look at that in jealousy and envy and think, I'd love to have something like that. So of course, that puts you guys on the radar. And there's only one way they're going to find that, and they're either going to start to utilize social media, and that's a whole different discussion on its own. And I would be very, very careful if you start using these apps and stuff like that. But nevertheless, they are out there. Or alternatively, she'll ask that golden question, where do you work? What do you do? And that leads the girls to leave the farm life behind and come into the city centres to work in the bars. And of course, they're there thinking to themselves, maybe, just maybe, I'll find myself the knight in shining armor, and he will build me a lovely house, and life will be happy ever after. So that's really sort of like the farming girls. Now, if they do make the transition and the farm girl comes down to being a working girl, well, that's a different ball game altogether. What you then find, and quite often, is everything. Every single aspect is about money, 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 money. And that comes from many different areas. You're going to find the older ladies that have been around the block a few times, the mama sands, and they will be encouraging these young girls, listen, make money while you can, you know, get yourself out there, find these guys, try and get as much out of these guys as you can. So you are now a money pot target. You might not like it, you might not accept it, you might not want to believe it, but the fact of the matter is you're now on their radar and you're now a target. Remember, cash is king. So if you're out there splashing the cash, the girls will want to be a part of that. They are going to do their very best to find a way to tick your box so that that cash goes in their pocket and not in the girl next door's. A lot of the girls, when they come down here, will talk. They talk amongst themselves and they will all start sharing experience. You know, remember, when we share our experiences, they're doing just the same. So for example, if I'm saying, oh, you know, listen, be careful, because what they'll do is they'll do this and then they'll try and manipulate to do that. Well, just remember, the girls are on the other side and they're saying, now what you want to try and do is get him to do this, and when you've done that, trying to get him to do this as well. So it's a bit of a 50-50, it's a bit of a head-to-head battle going on there, and it's the survival of the fittest. Not the richest, it's the survival of the fittest, because the fittest one will certainly become the richest one. So remember, it is a massive game when you come into this environment here. So they will be doing everything they can to try and alleviate that money. So they'll be looking for marriage. They'll be looking for that. I even know girls here that just want a Falang or a foreigner baby. You know, it's really quite a mindset in terms of how they figure things out, and it really is quite a culture shock for us when we step into this environment and think, wow, is that really happening? But it happens. Then you've got the professional girls, okay? The professional Thai ladies that are working up in the offices. They've got a really good job. They're holding down. They are not into the bar scene whatsoever. They have their own income. You know, don't be misled. Some of these ladies can earn a considerable amount of money. They really can. You know, don't be thinking, oh, every Thai lady here is poor, because they're not. You know, there are some very, very wealthy ladies working in Bangkok, working in the cities, working Lam Chabang just down the road. You know, some very, very well-paid ladies here. So, but, you know, they are also looking for stability, looking for a relationship, and you may be on their radar. And the reason being is, generally speaking, we are more stable than Thai men in relationship terms. It's very common, it's actually even bragged about when you find a Thai man will go off and play away. You know, they'll have what they call a gig, and a gig is like, is a bit on my side, me and I. You know, they call them all these different things, and they're very, very open about that they're playing away from home. Whereas for us, we don't do that, do we? We don't go down the pub with our mates and have a little, thank you very much, I'll go back home. But whatever we do, we do it discreetly. And that goes back to our way of life, because we know if we get caught, oh man, we're in a whole world of hot water. We really are. Whereas out here, the Thai men just dust it off there, whatever. It is what it is. And if you don't like it, that's the way it is. It's very, very cut and dry as to how they are. Whereas we are very different. We're like, oh, hang on, sorry about that, yeah. Another reason why the professional ladies will look more towards the foreign man is because we're a lot more ambitious, generally speaking. Yeah, when we're in a relationship, we don't just wake up, go to work, go home, eat your food, go to sleep. We like to save to go on holiday. We like to have the better things in life, or what we can financially afford. We like to, you know, we like to explore options. We don't like the mundane sitting at home day after day after day after day. So for a professional lady, what she's thinking to herself is, absolutely fantastic. Now I've got the opportunity to meet this guy. He wants to travel. He wants to go and explore different places around Thailand, different countries. He wants to have ambition. He wants to do things. He has interest, you know, all these kind of things that in many, many ways, a lot of Thai men, realistically speaking, are not that interested in. So where next? You come over here and you're going to get targeted, and for all the reasons I've just explained. And it depends on where you sit in your social status, as to where you hang out, as to what type of targeting you are going to get. And I did mention it very briefly, and I will just mention it very briefly now about these apps. Guys, be very, very careful, please, using these social media apps such as Thai Friendly, Thai Love Links, all these kind of dating apps. They really can, I'm not saying all the time, but they really can be fraught with danger. Misleading photographs, misleading profiles. You could be walking into a completely nightmare situation. Use your own discretion, use your own sense of mind as to whether or not you think you're walking into a good situation or perhaps a bad situation. But whichever one you choose, please be very, very careful. So you're here, you got into the city centre, you're walking around, and now you found yourself a new love of your life. And listen, you are not alone, don't feel bad. There are millions and millions of men that have come here that have all fell in love, myself included. So there are a few traits that the girls will do. Number one, they will ask to go out for dinner, and if you say to them, where do you want to go? They'll normally say, up to you. But if they do make a decision, be very aware that sometimes they will take you to where all their friends eat. And they'll take you there for two reasons. One, they want to showcase, hey, look at me, I've got a new foreign boyfriend. And number two, you're going to pick up the tab. So, just be very aware that that's the kind of things that will happen. The girls are very intrigued. They're very intrigued about you. They want to see, how do you live? What's your lifestyle like in comparison to maybe that of a Thai man, like I was just talking about? And you need to be able to tick a lot of boxes, which I'll talk about later on at the very end. But you need to tick certain boxes to enable the relationship to work, and is to make it work for both of you, not just for her. Like I mentioned about being faithful, like I say, the Thai guys are very blasé about it, whereas we are a little bit more discreet, and we're a little bit more concerned about being cool, as opposed to how a Thai man is. Why don't they get a Thai businessman? Why don't the Thai ladies go and find themselves a Thai man that's maybe got a very, very good job and is in a secure financial situation? Well, we have a thing here called marry down. Okay, you may have heard this, you may not have heard it, but it's called marry down. And basically, what a Thai man that's in a very good position in a job, financially very secure, it's very, very rare that they will ever marry down, as in marry down to a different level of social class or of standing. They won't. It'd be very unheard of for a very well-paid businessman, Thai man, to come into a bar and take a bar go out. It just doesn't happen. It also reflects on the background. The girl's background is also very influential as to where she stands in the status of life and what the opportunities are that present themselves to the Thai people. So they're very, very, very strict on this. They don't like to marry down. They won't marry down, in general speaking. So again, it limits her opportunities. So if she is working in the bar, generally speaking, she's going to maybe end up with a drunk Thai boyfriend, maybe a security guard. I'm no disrespect to these guys, but maybe it's not what she would look for a long-term companionship, as opposed to us. Let's be honest, Thai women are extremely attractive. It's in their genes. When you look at a Thai lady, generally speaking, they're a lot slender than a European counterpart. They're very, very nice people to live around, particularly if you step away from the bar scene. They want to take care. They're very clean. They're very humble. These ladies are fantastic. My wife is amazing. I'll be watching telly and she'll give me a foot rub. And I'm like, what are you doing? Oh, I want to do this. Why? Oh, no, you relax. It's okay. I want to do. If I said to my ex-wife, could you give me a foot rub? She'd just throw her slipper at me and say, get on with it yourself. You know what I mean? It was completely different. And so, there is a huge attraction there between both the European man, the foreign man, and the Asian lady, because they're looking for security and stabilization and, a stable environment, and they want all that kind of things, and you just want to be feeling good and in a relationship that's very loving. But that leads me on to the very last point, and this is the most important point there could possibly be: age. And I say this with a hand on my heart, because it really is an incredibly deciding factor as to how successful be it you in a relationship with a Thai lady or anything else involved in boyfriend-girlfriend situations. Because if you don't play the right age game, you are going to be in a world of trouble. And unfortunately, whether we like it or not, we get judged out here. I'm sure you guys have experienced it yourselves. If you tell people you're coming out here and you're coming here to Pattaya, people say, oh yeah, you know, you're going to go walking around with these young girls and all the rest of it, and all the judgments are going to get thrown at you. And unfortunately, that's probably never likely to change because they base their thoughts on what they think rather than actually coming out here and experiencing it. Sometimes I see a lot older guys with a lot younger girls, and it doesn't work. It really doesn't. Yes, it's nice to have a trophy on your arm, but she's just waiting for you to die. You know, that's the harsh reality of it. And I'm just being honest, guys. You know, she's got no connection with you whatsoever other than the fact that you've got a bank account and you're in the twilight zone and you're likely to have a heart attack if she pumps away a bit too hard for you. So, you know, get the age gap right. I would say here, you know, try and keep your age gap within 10 to 20 years, no more than that. Because otherwise, if you do engage in a relationship with someone that's much younger, you're going to have a lot of problems. Number one, the most important thing is, you know, sexual gratification. If you can't perform, well, she's a young girl, she's going to go and find it somewhere else. Do you know what I'm saying? And so therefore, you know, make sure that you're not biting off more than you can chew, because unfortunately that will come back and, you know, it can affect the relationship, as I'm sure you guys will agree. Social. Now, I'm very lucky. My missus, you know, she's 41. She doesn't want to go off partying every night. She's not interested in any of that. So for me, Mo and myself are ideally suited because I like to sit down, chill out. I like to sit outside, have a beer, just relax. You know, maybe we'll put some music on. I just like a nice, easy, chilled out lifestyle. I don't want to go out partying until 2, 3 in the morning, and nor does Mo. So we have a very compatible relationship in terms of our social standings. Now, if you find yourself a girl that says in the bar game and she wants to go out and party hard till 2, 3, 4 in the morning and you don't, again, that is going to cause you issues. It's going to cause you problems further on. So again, you know, try and mirror what you're looking for with the person that you find. And as well as that, last one is conversation. Normally speaking, the elder ladies, the ladies that have been around here a while, will speak a much better English than what a young girl is. So again, you know, it just pays to be compatible for the long term, because if she is looking for a foreign boyfriend like yourself, now you know why they're looking, now you know what they're looking for, but importantly for you guys, don't jump in too quickly. Make sure you cover all your bases before you commit and get yourself involved. All right, so there you go. That's just a short video today, just about what to expect and why there is this attraction between Thai women and foreign men. Hopefully that's given you a bit more of an insight as to what to expect and where they come from and all that kind of stuff. Guys, like I said before, please, you know, drop your comments below, share your experiences. What are your thoughts? You know, share your thoughts. This is the beauty of the buzzing community, is that we all interact, we all share, we talk about stuff. And like I said at the very beginning, if someone's honest enough to share a situation that went pear-shaped, you know, please, let's not jump on each other. Let's keep it nice and calm, and let's respect each other's situation and the fact that they've had the decency and the honesty to share a situation that maybe some of us can learn from. All right, there you go, guys. That's it for me today. As always, please remember, hit the subscribe button and also the bell icon if you'd like to be notified when I bring out a new video. If you haven't already, get on Discord. There is a link in the description below. Have a look at that. Jump on board there. This is the kind of platform where you can ask all these kind of questions and get answers without being berated, without being shouted at, all the rest of it. You can ask all those kind of questions. So have a look on there, guys. And if you'd like to support the work that we do here on the channel, there is a link in the description below where you can jump in there. Membership starts from as little as 89p a month. Okay, there you go, guys. That's it for me today. Thank you very much for watching. I'm pleased and hope you've enjoyed this video. And wherever you are in the world, stay safe.